Hey y'all, my name is Ned. This is my dog Jai, and today we are talking about DBT once again. Hello, welcome back to my channel where I fixate on a BI tech apparently, and I get way too into it. Today we are continuing our series on DBT, and we're going to be connecting DBT to Microsoft Fabric. For those of you who just heard me say DBT 6 times and have no idea what it is, DBT is a framework that handles the transform step of an extract, load, and transform data process. It's platform agnostic and it can hook into a ton of different providers. Since the majority of my videos and you, the watchers, are interested in Microsoft Fabric and Power BI, today I'm going to be demoing how to hook it in to Microsoft Fabric, in particular, a Fabric data warehouse. And we're going to be using a service principal. If this all sounds interesting to you, well, buckle up because we got a fun video today. But first, before we get into the nitty gritty and some of the more technical stuff, I want to talk to you about the difference between DBT Core and DBT Cloud. Now, we're going to be using DBT Cloud in this video, and that's primarily because we're going to be using some of the source files from their fundamentals course as we move through this video series where we're learning DBT together. In this case, I'm a beginner just like you, but my goal is that by the end of this video series, we're both not beginners. So if you want to learn alongside me, click the subscribe button, like this video, and follow along because I'll be releasing new videos that'll be just little teeny tiny bite-sized pieces similar to this one that you can watch probably 1 to every 3 to 5 days. But jumping back into our computer here, DBT Core versus DBT Cloud. DBT Cloud is the paid version of DBT, and with that, you get job scheduling, hosted documentation, and a really easy to use user interface. DBT Core, however, is the open source version. And while that does make things slightly more difficult because you don't get the easy to use UI and the automated documentation hosting, tools like Databricks have done a really cool job doing native integrations with DBT Core in their workflows, which means that if you're in an enterprise and you're trying to figure out if you like this, it actually might make more sense to start out with DBT Core because it's completely free and can already plug and play into your existing tools like Databricks, and then move into the more premium paid version if you decide that you want it to be a permanent tool in your data tech stack. That said, in this video series, we're going to be using the trial version and then the developer version of DBT Cloud because, again, we are beginners. Although at some point, I'm sure you will see me make the pivot over to DBT Core because I do think that's probably the more sustainable tool if you're in an enterprise and you're trying to implement change because you don't have to ask for a pile of money to implement it. So with that said, is the pricing for DBT Cloud. As you can see, they have a free developer license that comes with 3,000 successful model builds per month, and you can get a trial of the starter. So I am currently on a trial. That's what DBT will sign you up onto too for the first 14 days, and then you can downgrade to a developer. Now, you can get this by just going to dbt.com and signing up for an account. And then once you are back in, it'll prompt you to create your first project. So I have started to create my first project here. And as you can see, I gave it a project name of Fabric DBT Demo. And then I have not yet configured my development environment. Now, I go here, you'll see I have a connection to Fabric, and that's because when I first moved into this, I clicked add a new connection. As you can see, look at all the different tools that it can connect to. It's just beautiful. And I clicked Fabric, and it then prompted me for a server, a port, and a database. Now, lucky for us, we can get all of those super easily from the Fabric portal just by clicking on our database. So let's jump into the Fabric portal and let me show you where you can get those. So here we are in our Fabric portal. And as you can see, I have clicked the new item right here and I've created a warehouse and I've named that warehouse DBT demo. Side note, I don't think you should put spaces in your warehouse name for DBT. I was playing around with that and it didn't seem to like it. So I used an underscore here. Then you can click right here to the three options, right? And you can go over here into settings and you can go into SQL endpoint and you can grab your SQL endpoint URL. Once you have that, you can then paste it right here in the server, and then you can put your database name over here. And that will create a connection to your Microsoft Fabric tenant. The next thing you have to do is you have to set up your authentication. Now, I wasn't able to get my Active Directory password working. Uh, I think that's because I have two-factor authentication on for pretty much all my stuff. So I opted to use a service principal. Now, a service principal requires a tenant ID, a client ID, and a client secret. Now, I am not going to go super in depth into what a service principal is in this video or how you can set one up. I'm going to just really quickly walk you through what I did. So if you want that, I'll link a video down below in the video description where I showed you how to refresh a Power BI report with a service principal. The concept is the same. The steps to create one are the same. I'm just changing the permissions that the service principal has just ever so slightly. So let's take a look at how we did that. So I created a service principal. I gave it two delegated permissions. I gave it a warehouse execute all and a warehouse read write all. Then I went ahead and I added this into an Active Directory group. Then if I go over here to manage access, I added the Active Directory group as a member. I also had to add this Active Directory group uh, or give it access to use my Fabric admin API by going into my settings and then my admin portal and giving it access to those APIs. Once I then had that, finally, I had to do one more thing, and that was grant a connect. So if I go in here, and it looks like I lost out my query, but I had to write a query very similar to this one. And I'm going to paste in on over right here. So I had to write a query in here that was just saying, hey, grant connect to, and then my service principal's name. So this was called DBT service principal. Once I had that, all I had to do was go back over here, paste in my tenant ID, paste in my client ID, paste in my secret, and then it's going to want to essentially auto have a schema that starts with DBT and then your username. So I did go ahead and just create that schema for it over here. But once I think you could enter in any schema here. Once you do that, you then hit test connection. It'll run through, it'll test the connection, and hopefully you will get the green checkbox that we are about to get right now. And just like that, there we are. We got a complete. I got a little bit of waiting out because it was taking a long time, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit save. Now, at this point, it's going to want us to create a Git repository. We're going to have a few different options. So DBT can manage it. We can clone it from a third-party provider, kind of like Azure DevOps, or it can automatically link into GitHub. I have both an Azure DevOps repo that I use for this YouTube channel and a GitHub that I use for this YouTube channel. I don't really want to deal with trying to set up Azure DevOps right now since it's not a pre-built connector. So I'm just going to use GitHub. So here we are back in the computer. So I'm going to hit this little GitHub button and then I'm going to hit connect to GitHub. Now it's going to want me to log in. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log in and then I'm going to authorize DBT Cloud. So just like that, we should be good to go. Although it looks like it might not have saved any of my information. So let's try that one more time. So here we are back. And as you can see, it's asking me where do I want to put this? And I actually haven't created a repository for DBT. So I'm going to go back into GitHub. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to title it DBT videos. And I'm going to hit create repository. I'll leave it public so you guys can see. And there we go. We're now ready to go. So going back into DBT, I'm going to bet that it did not pick up on this. So we're going to have to give it one more reload right here. We're going to paste this in, hit test connection. And then when it's loaded, hopefully we'll hit save. Then when it's finally saved, we'll hit GitHub, and then we'll click DBT videos right here. All right, we're ready. We've created a project and we're ready to use DBT. So that's it. We could just connected Microsoft Fabric to DBT Cloud, and we're now ready to continue on learning. Isn't that great? If you're interested in learning with me, I'd love for you to subscribe to this video right now and give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment down in the video description because it really helps. And with that, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.